Hello, we are waiting for the final tally in Scotland's referendum on independence in the next hour, but results so far show Scotland has rejected independence. British media say the final no vote will come in at 55%. Here's a look at those results. So far, 45% have voted for the yes, 55% no. 29 councils out of 32 have declared results so far. Well, the Deputy First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, says no matter what the outcome, the country will never be the same again.
What I think is already absolutely clear from the results we have so far tonight is that Scotland has changed forever. It will never be the same again, both because of the outstandingly high turnout, but also because of the very, very strong appetite that we're seeing for change. So I think that is, what I would detect overall from the results so far.
Barnaby Phillips is at the UK's Parliament in Westminster in London. But first, let's cross live to Jonah Hull in the Scottish capital, Edinburgh, at the headquarters of the vote count. Jonah, what's the mood there?
As I can tell you that in just the last few minutes, an enormous cheer went up in the counting centre here as the results were announced for Edinburgh, the political and financial capital, of course, of Scotland. The vote count centre that I'm standing in now returned a result in Edinburgh of 61% in favour of the no side. It was always expected to vote no, Edinburgh, but not by as big a margin as that. And that has very much been the pattern of things during the course of this count. Bigger margins of victory for the noes, where the yeses have been expected to win. They've won by far less than they were expected to win. They've managed to pick up just 4 local councils so far. Only 3 more are left to declare. And albeit winning Glasgow, an important, a significant and symbolic victory for the Yes campaign, Scotland's second city, a heartland of Scottish Labour, a seat of discontent towards the politics and politicians of London and Westminster. Despite that, it was not a victory great enough. All that remains now is to see precisely what the numbers are, what the margin of victory is for the no side. We expect a final declaration within the next hour, but perhaps with all said and done now, the big story in these numbers is the turnout. Immense turnout, 85% on average across the board. Some constituencies looking at 90%, up to 100% of registered voters turning out to cast their ballots, showing just how much passion and emotion this vote has exercised among the Scots, and including, of course, a new generation of voters, 16 and 17-year-olds, given the vote for the first time. And finally, make no mistake, the flame of separatism, the passion for independence has not gone out in Scotland. An awful lot of people did vote for the Yes campaign here, but that dream of independence is not to be.
All right, for the moment, Jonah Hull live for us there in Edinburgh at the centre of it all. Let's go live now to Westminster, where Barnaby Phillips is standing by for us. Barnaby, sighs of relief all around Westminster, presumably, but is this going to be seen as a wake-up call to the politicians in London?
Yes, and I think they'd be foolish to regard it otherwise. We expect the Prime Minister, David Cameron, to speak within an hour. He would have to hear that message from Scotland that for all the uncertainty, for example, over what currency an independent Scotland would have used, more than 1 million people, including in once great industrial cities like Glasgow and Dundee, voted in favour of independence. So we would expect more devolution of power to Scotland, but of course that raises many questions about how the United Kingdom as a whole will be governed in the future, and in particular where England, the largest component, will sit within that union, and whether power will be devolved to different regions of England itself. The Prime Minister may give us some indication about his thinking when he speaks in a short time, but you are right. I think the overwhelming relief is that the union has survived, weakened, but still intact.
All right, Barnaby Phillips reporting to us there from Westminster.